Let people know we're live. And I'm not going to tell anybody. They'll get system notifications or they won't, I guess. Are you freaking kidding me? Okay, then. We'll see what that does. There's the alert there. Click. Okay. So, Researchers who do the researchers who do the research. Copywriters who do the scripting and editors who do the editing. Who will handle everything else. Really? Yeah, no. What? No. This is fucking terrible and so goddamn suspicious. Oh, sure, why not? Hello, thank you for being here. Enjoy your lurk. I'm just here hanging out. Not much going on. Really annoying. I don't think you're gonna help. I don't think you're gonna help at all. Uh, do 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 do. setup as last time. Yeah, I knew he would cut it. I knew he would cut it. Let's try that. See how that works. Okay, let's see. So move that head. Select decay, venom. Wrath on the end. Mischief. Decay, blight, mischief, wrath. Decay, blight, mischief. Okay, right there. Season 4. Really? That guy? Yeah, him, but only if you have the other. No, the other one's not even in it. What? Of course the dragon shines. The dragon's awesome. Huh. Um, ugh. I'm tired. Doesn't help that I started so late. That really doesn't make all the yawning look good. You think this late of a start would be refreshed and raring to go. Don't don't go thinking I'm professional or nothing. Speaking of being professional, I should probably turn my Xbox on. Get that updated for tomorrow. Of course, if I do that, then tomorrow when I turn it on, there's still going to be an update. Fantastic. All right. All right, all right, all right. Let's maybe one down. You need to do better than that. You need to do way, way better than that. Honestly, I don't think he's helping at all. I was kind of trying to hold off on him. Give him a shot, see what he does. Okay. Community and digital marketing manager. See, all these things just have so many fucking applications, so many applicants. Uh, literally just Seventeen. I don't know if I used it before that. I think I did. Pretty sure I used it before that. I don't remember. Still 2017. That's 8 years. This was posted 5 hours ago and it's got over 100 applicants. Most likely it's probably got over 1,000 already. It was just posted 5 hours ago. Let's refresh that. What? Interesting. I think someone's dead account has been reactivated. That's what I thought. I was like, wait, I didn't pour anything in here, did I? I'm shaking it up for nothing. I'm so tired and my brain hurts so much right now. Ooh, that's not bad. That's not great, but that's not bad. Nothing much going on, Kev. I'm just sitting here hanging out. We only had one person come in, and they came in to say they were lurking. So, we're just chatting today. We're just hanging out for a couple hours. I am putting in applications, job applications. So, I have to stick with that. I haven't done any better. That still does give us two Shining Guys saved, though. I am also playing a little mobile game in the background. I can share the mobile game, I guess, if you guys want. That's up to you. I haven't put it on because it's nothing fancy. These kinds of streams can be nice for a change. I mean, I'm literally just. I do like chatting with you guys. Of course, I feel like I do that during game streams also. But this is literally just me on LinkedIn trying to fill out job applications right now. I've been slacking. I haven't been putting in a lot of job applications recently. No, Kev, I really don't do Oreos that much. Oreos are a special event thing. Search is going shitty, man. I have been without a proper job since September 2023. So I've been throughout 2024 and the start of 2025, I've put in probably 400 applications and not gotten a single call back on anything that wasn't a scam. I did get a couple of scam texts and emails. But yeah, I got no response back from anyone. So I did really kind of give up there for a while. I haven't put in any applications for a while. I was really hoping. I pushed the advertisements. I pushed the stuff for that subathon stream, and the one we did last summer was only 24 hours. And we didn't make a lot of money, but we got a ton of followers for it and a ton of people just in chat hanging out. And so I was hoping that this year we'd have a much better turnout, much better things going on. Um, and you could see, I mean, just because I spent like so long hyping it up beforehand, and you could see by the goals that I set that I wasn't necessarily expecting it to get anywhere near those top goals. I was hoping we would do better than what we did. Not that what you guys did wasn't fantastic. It was. It was super, super fantastic. But just as far as like getting people in here, getting things going on. Um, Last year, I think we made almost like we we got quite a few followers. I want to say like we broke 30 new follows during that stream. And maybe not quite that many. Maybe it was like 20. But this year we lost a viewer. We went down in our viewing numbers. We lost a viewer. So we didn't even gain any viewers. We lost a viewer. But so yeah, it's been a discouraging moment to say the least. And then so I've been like super tired, super mentally drained. Bad news after bad news on a lot of fronts. Um, yeah, I know. It's just, well, you got to get seen, and anymore, the platform is just flooded with so many people. I mean, it was hard to get seen when I started this, and it's only gotten worse. I've been doing this for, 11 years now, and it was hard when I first started to get seen. And now with everything out there, all the people out there, it's so much harder. Yeah, no, it's really hard. I mean, first off, you have to get seen, and then once you're seen, you have to keep people there. And there's so many top tier influencers out there who've got, hundreds of thousands of subscribers, millions of subscribers, and maintain viewer counts anywhere from 1,000 to 20,000 viewers at a time, which doesn't leave a lot of little other viewers out there because those people want to go see their big name person who makes them ha ha. And the thing is, though, like with a lot of those streamers and a lot of that stuff, it's not just the streamer, it's the interactions that they have with chat. Like if you go watch Connor or Doug or Iron Mouse or any VTuber at all, it's chat interaction. They're playing off their chat. Their chat is 80% of their stream um, on several streams. Uh, it could be argued that chat is like a main character in the stream. So yeah, no, it's super hard. Like I will typically get anywhere from 6 to 10 viewers in my streams. That's it. Like it is not big numbers. And it's all the people who already know me, all the people who already come looking for me. You, Wish, uh, Necro, Roy, Timmy, Pants. Um, it's you guys already coming to the channel that are my regular viewers. I'm not really getting any new people, so um, yeah. Given how well we did last year and how much work I put into trying to push it and get the word out and get things hyped for it and trying to connect it to big things like the release of Expedition 33 and this and that and trying to like connect it to stuff and push it with things. I was really hoping for larger turnout. Um, but there's a lot of things that have happened that have kind of hurt my opinion on a lot of that. Um, yeah, no, it super is. In fact, the best stream I've had in a long time lately has been a game that is very not relevant. It's a very niche game, the Marvel Heroes game. I streamed Marvel Heroes probably a week week and a half before I did the before I did the event as like a kind of a build up stream. And I had so many people from the Marvel Heroes community who love that game and found that the game is being brought back and started playing the game and wanted to come and talk to someone who was streaming the game. And I got like 7 new followers from that stream alone. That stream helped us break 750 followers. Um, and that was like a week and a half, 2 weeks before the event stream. Streaming that game has actually given me the biggest audience I've had in a long time, and it's very much a not relevant game. It's very much a niche, fan obsessed game. Yeah, it absolutely does. You gotta find your spot and hope that you can take off from there. But regardless, I mean, like I said, I need to find work. I'm at a point where I don't know if I'm going to have a place to live by the end of the summer. I don't. Um, I'm struggling to make ends meet. Work is, uh, I work part time, barely enough to pay for rent and food. But my apartment complex, the people who run the apartment complex that I live in, they are selling off their properties and closing the company. So that's happening sometime this summer. I still haven't gotten final word on when yet, but in the next couple of months. And so I don't know if I'm even going to have a place to live when that's over. And if I, do or don't, I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford another place to live. Um, and yeah, there's just like so much stuff going on. And then to top it all off, on Monday, my uncle passed away. And so I've got to go up. We're trying to make plans. Looks like the funeral is going to be not this weekend, but next weekend. So that's kind of been, a thing going on too. No, that's the thing, Kev. I've never really shied away from telling people. I live in Missouri. I live in Springfield, Missouri. My parents don't live in town. My parents live an hour outside of town. That's a commute that I can't make. It makes it impossible to really look for work or do anything when you have an hour long commute one way because my parents live off in the woods. They've been living off in the woods since I was in high school. That was their big thing, to go off in the woods and get away from things. And that has made life so difficult, trying to go in and look for work, trying to go in and do errands and try to go. You can't do anything unless you have a car. You can't have a car if you don't have work. You can't get in to look for work if you don't have a car. Like, the entire thing is a terrible system and a terrible catch 22. And my family has never been well off. We've been lower middle class, and so, my parents have never really been able to support me. I've always kind of, like, there have been times where they've taken me in, but when I've gone to live with them, it's only ever been for a couple of months, because within 2 to 3 months, fights start happening. People start getting angry. Well, why aren't you trying harder to do this? Why aren't you doing that? Because I'm stuck out in the fucking woods an hour away from a single city. That's why I'm not. It's like really, really impossible. Like, they don't have the means to really support me. And if I go out there, then I don't have the means to find a way to support myself while I'm out. So it really kind of traps you off in the woods. It really kind of traps you out in that isolated rural environment. Um, and already this town is very, very much a shit town with nothing in it. People who live here either work for the college or work for the hospital or they work for Walmart. Those are the only things in town. This is a college town. There are no industries here. There is no massive companies here. You work for the college, you work for the hospital, or you work for Walmart. Those are your three options. So yeah, I've always really kind of been on my own. That's part of why I was really hoping that, because I love streaming. I love entertaining people. I love hanging out with you guys, having fun, talking, playing games, and just entertaining people. I love making people laugh. I've always come from a family of comedians and people who like to joke around and make people laugh. To me, comedy, humor, humor can get you through a lot. I think it's kind of a core foundation of life. If you can find a way to laugh, find a way to make yourself laugh, you can find a way to get yourself through a lot. And so I always have kind of prided myself on being that guy who's quick witted and can crack a joke and can have fun. But the last few years, just my mental state, my physical state, just depression has kind of made that really difficult for me. And as much as I love entertaining people and love making people laugh, I don't feel like I'm really doing it as much as I wish I could or as well as I wish I could. But, I was really hoping that through streaming over these last 11 years, I'd be able to make it go somewhere. Is that hasn't happened. And even though that hasn't happened, it's not something I can still give up. I can't just bring myself to stop doing it because I enjoy it so much. If I didn't do this, I wouldn't be here hanging with you. I wouldn't be here hanging with Wish or Timmy or, what have you. It's just, I enjoy hanging out with you guys. I love streaming and hanging out with people. So, um, I like the little community that we've built. I like you guys. I like all of it. I really do wish that, and I don't want to be, I'm not talking about being one of those top streamers who has 4,000 people in chat and you can't read what's happening. But like the bar is a small channel, but because of the way shaker performances are and things like that, they usually make money hand over fist, or at least they used to. Used to make money hand over fist. I know with the economic situation, a lot of people have stopped giving bits the way they used to. Well, that's what I've been trying, Kev. I've been trying to put in and put applications in for that kind of stuff. Um, the thing is, like, in the past, it's always been finding small jobs. I worked for a small computer company. I worked for, when I lived in Taiwan, I worked for a small game development company. Um, the last several years before my job ended, I was uh, working in a call center for the hospital. It's not something that I enjoy doing. I'm not trying to be a customer service call representative. I'm trying to find an actual job. I left Taiwan because the job closed down. The company wasn't sustainable. Um, they couldn't they couldn't get the contracts they were looking for. I personally brought them four different contracts, and two of them they turned down, and two of them they basically told the told the people that were wanting to contract with them that they didn't have the experience or tools they wanted, and the company turned down the contracts. So um, I mean, yeah, I brought them two big names. I brought them Team 17, which Team 17 did the Escapist games and the Worms games and stuff like that. And they were actually wanting them to do work on a Worms game. They were wanting them to help out with one of their Worms games. And they basically said, "Hey, we can help you with that, but we have zero experience doing it." The company said, "We need someone with experience. We can't work with you." So they basically backed them off. And then the other contract I brought them was with EA. And they just refused to fill out the paperwork and give EA the information they were looking for. So, well, that was in like 2017, you know? That was just back in 2017 that I was living in Taiwan. I only lived there for like a year. Not even a year. It was like 10 months that I lived in Taiwan. And I wish I could have stayed there longer, but the apartment that I was living in was one that was owned by the company I was working for. And so they were taking my rent out of my check every month, which made that very convenient. And so when that job ended up closing, I was actually already back in the States because I was doing uh, a 2 month trip in California, or a month and a half trip in California, where I was going through and had set up appointments to meet with uh, PlayStation, Sony Studios, Koei Tecmo, uh, uh, just like Blizzard Entertainment, Square Enix. Um, EA was one of the ones I found while I was out there. Like, California is Silicon Valley. It's where tons and tons and tons of video game developers are. And so I spent a month and a half going from company to company to company. And while I was there, I attended like 3 or 4 conferences to try and make connections and stuff. Um, and so it was while I was out there, they said, "Hey, we're closing things down, so you're not going to have a job when you come back. It's up to you if you still want to come back out." Because they're the ones who flew me out there and they were going to fly me back. They're like, it's up to you if you want to take the plane and come back. But I, A, wouldn't have had a place to stay, and B, I wouldn't have had a job waiting for me when I got back. So it really wasn't possible. It was one of those things where, well, I'm already back in the States. I don't have anything to go back to. I feasibly can't go back there and keep going. So August of 2017, yeah, I was there August 2017. Yep. It would have been very nice to stay there. Uh, in fact, that's one thing where if I've actually, oh, that's funny. You went for like 4 days. That's funny. That's really cool. Uh, Too bad we didn't know each other back then. We could have hung out, had some fun. But yeah, no, that was one of the things. Like, I've been looking to go back to Japan. Hopefully, find a job where I can go back to Japan. But Taiwan has always kind of been my second choice. As much as I love Japan, Taiwan is almost just as awesome, and I really enjoy Taiwan as well. Taiwan is really cool, and so if I can't go to one, I would like to go to the other. But um, yeah, that's really not easy to do. So I'm trying, but it's not really working. What was I? I was gonna look at something. Nagu. Click. But yeah, so lots been going on, and honestly, like, oh yeah, the Asian games, yeah, yeah. I forget the name of it. It was basically it's Asian Pacific Games. Like it was specifically, yeah, like that. I don't think that's the actual name of it, but that's basically what it was. It was like Asian only Olympics. It was really cool. I saw a lot of that on TV while I was out there. Yeah. The sports arena where some of that stuff was happening was not too far from where I was staying. I still have the route that I was staying on memorized and most of the stuff. I lived off of the blue line and worked off of the blue line. The job I was working for was like right downtown New Taipei City. Literally like downtown was the main bus terminal, and where I worked was like 2 blocks. You could see it from the bus terminal. Um, and it was I think it was called City Hall. Like it was downtown. It was City Hall bus terminal. Uh, and I lived right off that main line. So no, I didn't go for any of it. I didn't have any time to. I was pretty busy while I was out there. I did a couple things. I went to the beach, did a lot of exploration, walking around the city. Um, Made friends with a couple people at work. We'd hit up some of the bars and stuff. One of the guys I worked with was actually in a band that would go around and play at some of the bars and some of the local events and stuff. And so I'd go when he'd have a gig, I'd go hang out and watch the band and do whatever. Um, and for the most part, it was all stuff in town. I think I only ever, I mean, I took a couple business trips while I was there. I went to the Philippines, I went to Hong Kong, went to mainland China, stuff like that while I was out there. But as far as in Taiwan, I think I only ever left the city the one time, and we had a weekend out on the beach. It was pretty fun. Uh, I really like I. It would have been nice to be better prepared for what I was doing out there, but I literally went out there last minute. Was like, hey, I'm here. Let's do this. I lived out of a suitcase the entire time. Like I brought minimal stuff with me. Um, I very much. It was a very turbulent time in my life, and so I said yes to more or less anything that was going on. Hey, I want to get out and do this thing. Let's. I was in New Taipei. I was in Taipei. Um, but yeah, I found the guy. He's like, oh well, And I was like, hey, I'm out here. If you want to hire me, I'm here. He's like, okay, yeah, you're here. It's destined. We'll do it. And so like, I kind of just did things for that year of my life. I went out to Taiwan. I picked up the job. I did the thing. I went here. I went there. I did the whatever. I just lived for a year, and it was hectic, but it was fun, and it got me through some pretty big, pretty tough times. I was I've been hoping to save up and move back over to Asia in a correct fashion, be that preferably Japan or possibly Taiwan. But everything that I've been trying to do to facilitate that has fucked itself over. Um, when I lost my job in 2023, like at the end of 2023, my plan was to take some online courses, which I did, and then apply for work and get a remote job that I could use to take me over there. And here I am now in almost June of 2025 and still no fucking work. Literally a year and a half, no work. And it was in September of 2023, so almost 2 years, over a year and a half, a year and 8 months without work, without meaningful work. I work part time, minimum wage. You know, technically it's more than minimum wage. The Missouri, I don't know if it was the whole state or just the city of Springfield, but I think it's the whole state of Missouri voted to up the minimum wage. And so every year it's going up so much to top out at $15. But I don't think it hits the $15 minimum until 2027. I think right now the minimum wage is like 12.70 something or 13.20 something. And it steps up every year. So most companies have just set $15 as their starting wage because of that. Most, not all. And so where I'm working right now is that $15 an hour, but I'm only working like 20 hours a week. So really not making much. Barely scraping things together. And I've got bills that are backed up from being a year and a half on 2 years unemployed. And they're breathing down my neck and it's getting bad. And then, like I said, my apartment complex, the company is selling off all its properties, and so that's going to be bad. And yeah, I honestly don't know what's going to happen. I don't know where I'm going to be in a month, 2 months. So I don't know. So I'm trying to push back on finding work again, trying to get things done. It's just it's so hard because it is putting a lot of stress on me, my energy, mental well-being is like, and I can tell how stressed I am. Like, one of the big things is your short-term memory. And oh my god, I've been having memory problems, and like just forgetting stuff or getting confused with things, and sort of a what they call executive dysfunction, where like I need to get up and do this thing, but you just can't bring yourself to do it. Like mentally, your brain's like, "Hey, you need to get up and do this thing," and it's like, uh, "But no, you need to get up and do the thing. Come on, get up, body." And the body's just like, "I don't exist. Shut up." It's bad. It's not even lack of motivation. It's literally your body refuses to. Your brain says, "Hey, you need to get up and do this thing," and your body just won't. It's very hard to explain, very hard to describe. But it's just like your brain literally kind of goes into shutdown mode. Ugh. So yeah, it's been a hard time. It's been a pretty hard time recently, and I'm hoping I can get over it, get through it. For a while there, I really thought I was gonna be good with everything, but My brain's kind of just been. Uh, yeah, and see, there goes the short-term memory again. I just completely forgot everything I was talking about. Completely lost my train of thought on stuff. But yeah, so I'm really trying to hope for applications and hope to maybe find work, maybe. I don't know. Honestly, like there's a big part of me that is how often do I hear back from never? That's what I'm saying. I 400 applications in the last year and a half, and not a single one of them has resulted in an interview. Of course, I'm not trying to get hired on at Walmart. You know, I'm already hired on at a part-time place for $15 an hour. I'm not trying to get hired on at Walmart. I'm trying to get an actual real job. I'm not trying to go work for J.C. Penney as a cash register operator or a clothing stalker. Not trying to go work for a gas station. I have, but you need credentials for that. You have to pay a lot of money for that. Like you actually have to pay to enroll in those programs, and I don't have that kind of money. Plus, on top of that, they're super strict with a lot of the rules and a lot of the things I do, and you really don't get any say of where you go. Yeah, all the things I've found, like there are things like there are programs where you can go through as a part of like a school program, but you have to have your degree, you have to have things set up to pull that off. Otherwise, you're basically just paying a headhunter, you're paying a scalper to send you out there. Like they take you basically so they're let me think of the right way to explain this. Most of the places that I found that will run you without like a teacher's degree or something like that, they'll just take you out there to be an English tutor. Most of those places are, yeah, no, yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that, Kev. That's really why I want to get back out there. Um, Honestly, I think I have something lined up in Japan if I can get to Japan. It's not something I can talk about, and it's not something I'm even 100% sure, but I'm like 80% sure that I've got something lined up in Japan already if I can get out there. It's just getting out there and doing it. And of course, I don't have the money for that. That's what I was hoping would happen with the subathon, at least to a degree. And I had money saved up from taxes. So I was hoping to use money from taxes, money from the subathon, put everything together and be able to go out. But most of the money I had saved up is now gone too because of expenses, because of things jacking up in price, and because of other things. And I put money into the subathon. I bought food for it. I bought supplies for it. I had purchased a couple things online for it, and even just like getting prepped for it, I ended up spending more money than what I made on it. So no, they can't, Kev, and I 100% understand why they can't. I'm pretty sure there's a bartender position that I could get if I go out there. But the then there's the other position as well that I can't really talk about. Um, have I ever worked as a bartender? No, I haven't. I've worked in a kitchen as a prep cook and a dishwasher, but I've never been a bartender. Uh, Not super hard in Japan. It's just pouring beers and pouring highballs and lemon sours. That's it. You want a beer, you want a highball, or you want a lemon sour. ITs, of course, but they don't have like the level of cocktails that places out here in the States do. Let me mix these 43 liquors and liqueurs and fruit juices together with three shakes, one stir, and however many pumps of artificial flavoring. um, I am teasing a bit, but they are very much more simplistic out there than they are here. Here, you've got like 87 flavors of margarita, and over there you have beer, highball, lemon sour. That's it. Um, but no, I digress. It's definitely where I am at is a very terrible place to be, and it has been my entire life. My entire life has been trying to get away from here. I moved to Florida once. I moved to California twice. Went overseas to Taiwan. I keep trying to leave this place, but I keep ending up back here. And when I get here, ending up stuck because this place is such a drain on everything. It costs like the cost of living here is not very high, but that's because you get paid next to nothing to work out here. There is no way to save up and get away. So I was really hoping I could pull that off, but here I am. Yeah. No, it's a hassle. It's a big hassle. And it's a very hard fight to not just give up on everything. It really is. It's very tough to not just be done. What did I do after high school? I went into a trade school that wasn't worth going to, and then I got then I tried to find work, didn't really find any work. Moved out to California, didn't find any work in California, got sent back here. Looked into joining the military, but didn't join it. The military would not have been good for me. I'm not I'm not that kind of person, and no. And then I ended up homeless and on the streets. Oh no, wait. Then I moved to Florida, and then there was nothing, no work. I couldn't find any work in Florida. So then I came back here, and then I became homeless. I lived homeless in a shelter for 2 years. And while I was in the shelter, getting, I ended up working various day labor jobs and dishwashing jobs and whatever I could find um, while I was living in the shelter. And I ended up getting my student loans out of default so that I could go back to school. So I went back to school for a year, not enough to finish and get my degree, but I went back to school for like a year before the shelter said I had to leave. And so then I had to find work in order to pay for an apartment. And so I had to leave school again. But I ended up finding work, and this is in like 2011, 2010. So it was really cheap, like nothing an hour. But um, I ended up getting a job with a computer repair company. And I did that for a while, for a couple of years. And then I left that company when I went and moved to Taiwan for a year, and then came back here and then worked at the hospital for like 6 years until I left, and now I'm looking for a job again. So, yeah, after high school was pretty rough. Um, no, there haven't been any job openings in where I used to work. I applied for a different position, but they didn't give it to me. Um, yeah, so I mean, I didn't exactly want to go back to where I got where was removed from. I wasn't fired. I honestly thought I was going to be able to take what I had and find the position. I even I even sent a business proposal to a company, and I was talking with one specific company, and they were interested. And it wasn't because they had an application that I filled out, or so. I specifically reached out to that company with a business proposal, said, "Here's what I can offer you." They were interested, but they were only interested in it as the idea of a temporary situation, not a full time situation. And when they found out it was something that would uh, require follow up, either by keeping me hired on or by them continuing what I had been doing, they decided not to follow through with it. So, no, because I don't have a car. I don't own a vehicle, Kev. Even if you could do DoorDash, that's again something where you can't really make DoorDash thrive. The best you can do is kind of. I take public transportation if I can. For the most part, I either walk or have to take an Uber. Public transportation in this town is terrible. I say that I've literally been to third world countries with better public transportation than where I live right now. Legitimately. Yeah, the entire city at the height of um, there's only a couple buses for the whole city, and during peak transit hours, the bus runs every 30 minutes, and there's only one bus per area, one bus per route, and it runs every 30 minutes. Uh, After hours, it only runs once an hour. And during the weekends and evenings, there's only one bus for the entire, or four buses for the entire city all the way around. And um, there's four buses for the whole city, and they only run once an hour. Um, and the um, yeah, and on holidays there's nothing, and on Sundays there's next to nothing. So it's real bad. I mean, you could look up individual companies. Of course, you can always just look individual companies up, which for some of the big ones I had done in the past, Sony, PlayStation, stuff like that. Um, and it's still good to do those, but as far as like job sites, not really. And even LinkedIn is like a very terrible one. I don't know if I'd qualify for my CDL. That's my problem. And again, that's you have to like pay for the training courses for that, which I don't have money for. And even if I did, I don't know if I'd qualify for. Um, Maybe, but I need to pay for the training courses to try it. I don't know what their requirements are. Um, Honestly, I'm scared to be like a driver like that. I honestly don't know. I've very specifically avoided those kind of jobs for that exact reason. I don't know what you mean by shipping and receiving. Just working in a warehouse somewhere? I've applied. I've applied for those positions. There's no industry in this town, so I've applied for anything I could think of. Oh, that's not a thing that exists here. You're just talking about like working for two guys in a truck, like a moving service. They don't have anything like that here. I've applied. I haven't applied recently. I've applied in the past. Those jobs are really hard to get onto. They're super competitive positions, and right now, with them cutting back because of all the government funding stuff, it's even harder. Um, I tried getting on there before I got hired on at the hospital a couple of years ago. Um, no, there's really nothing in town. I legitimately mean that. I would need a way to get there, Kev. The closest airport is outside of town, and then that's for the small town one, which I don't think they're hiring for anything because again, it's super small, local airport. Um, but I don't have a way to get there. It's half hour, 45. It's like a half hour outside of town. Boy, I can hear the drunk homeless people yelling outside right now. Someone's yelling about trying to start a fight. Um, yeah, no, there's nothing sustainable in this town. Like I said, you either work for the college, you work for the hospital, or you work for Walmart. That's it. Or you get the fuck out of town. No. I already work for a minimum wage position. I don't need to apply for Walmart. Walmart's not going to do anything to help me. Walmart's going to be the same, if not less, than what I'm making now. The only thing is that I could get more hours doing that and stop streaming. That's the only difference. Yeah, and it's one I might have to do because I don't have any other. So I'm trying to put in applications again, trying to see if I can find something else. I mean, even if I do, it's probably going to be something that's really going to take away my streaming hours. We'll see. I don't know. I legitimately don't know. I would hope that's the case. I really do. I would really hope that that's the case, but um, yeah, I honestly have no idea what would happen. If I had to do it to go work at Walmart or increase hours where I'm at now, then no, there would be no getting myself together. It would be literally just being trapped in that position for the rest of my life with no hope of growth or, you know, meaningful anything. That must be the final nail in the coffin. So I'm going to keep putting in applications on LinkedIn and hope something, if anything, in this fucking world comes through. Honestly, I probably have a better chance of hitting the lottery than I do finding anything worthwhile. Yeah, that's the other site besides LinkedIn, but they have, in this area, they have a worse track record than LinkedIn, but I don't know as far as like overall. Um, in fact, a lot of the things Indeed has link back to LinkedIn, or things on LinkedIn link back to Indeed. So there's a lot of crossover between them. But yeah, that is the other site that those are pretty much the two main sites is LinkedIn and Indeed. And then anything else you kind of want to go to specific company websites to apply for companies. It's just it really is discouraging. It really is. Like there's no place for me in this world. It feels like a lot of times I'm not meant to be anywhere. No, actually that's false, Kevin. Right now there's a big thing. There's two big things. The biggest one, there's something actually out there called ghost ghost positions, where companies absolutely are not hiring, but still posting open positions to make it look like they're hiring, so they have an influx of applications in case something happens, and so that they can see which of their employees are trying to put in for different spots. Just because a job is posted does not mean a company is hiring. You're right, it shouldn't be legal, but they're doing it 100%. In fact, there have been people who have quit their job in HR because they've been asked to post that stuff. They're like, that's the whole reason it came out, is because somebody publicly came out and said, hey, they're making me do this, and I left my job because I don't feel this is right. That's how people found out about it. It's because of whistleblowers talking about it. They have very specifically posting jobs that don't exist to A, keep a backlog of candidates, B, see if their employees are pushing for anything else. So, yeah, no, that's 100% legitimately a thing. It's called ghost jobs. Uh, yeah, no, he probably, if he knows I'm going to be streaming, he'll put the channel on in the background while he goes to sleep. That way, if he's asleep and I hop on, he doesn't miss the points. And then if I'm still on when he wakes up, he'll hop in. But yeah, he's probably just asleep. Yep, keep that watch streak going. That's what I do at the bar. Whenever I go to bed, I keep the bar stream open so that I keep the watch streak going, even though I'm not there to watch it. I think my watch streak for the bar right now is like 80. Right around there. I've lost my streak so many times at the bar. Yeah, no, I used to have a nice streak, but I've lost my streak several times. Why were you turned on to max volume, you piece of shit? Let's see. My watch streak, current watch streak, 79. One more stream until an extra 450 reward points. $434. Yeah, I should be super up there too. I think the highest I ever got was right around 200 before I had a watch streak crash out. That's impressive that you've kept it up like that, though. It really is. If it doesn't crash out, I mean, I think, I don't remember what the last crash out was from. I know a lot of people crash out when they do their vacation streams, uh, just because they stream at such random times. and sometimes multiple times a day. So like the last beach trip they had, a lot of people lost their streak on that. Right, they didn't, which kind of surprised me. Honestly, that really surprised me they did. But yeah, and because of things being as bad as they are right now, going and putting in these applications, I can see over 1,000 people have applied to these, and I know that just my application trying to get through on these places is literally just impossible. These have posted one day ago, and they've got like thousands of applications into them. The closest casino here is Oklahoma City. There aren't any casinos allowed in Missouri. I think there's one up in St. Louis on the river because that's technically on the river, and so they got around it that way. But like it's a historical thing too, so it's kind of grandfathered in. But I don't think that's actually like a casino casino. I mean, they don't help you move out there though. You have to already have a place out there to move to and then get the job. The companies like a company like that doesn't need to move you out. They have so many people around them in the city looking for work. They can hire anyone. Like the only places, the only places that are willing to move you to work there are like massive companies looking for very specialized positions. Like very specialized tech companies, very specialized people with high degrees, people who are highly sought after. A casino is not going to move you, pay you to come out before you start working. That's like the whole problem I've been talking about this entire thing is that you can't make enough money in this town to save up to move to another town to look for work. You can't unless you're going to another town that's as bad as this town, like Mississippi or something. Then you're not going to be able to afford to move to any other place. And even then, you know, you'd have to pay out of pocket all the moving expenses and the rent stuff to get a place over there to start doing things. You know, it's still something you have to save up for to do, but I think it's a little more expensive than here, but either way, I still need to save up the money here to be able to afford to move there. I still need to be able to, save up money here to go rent a place there, and then once I'm there, look for work there. Like I said, they're not going to pay for me to, oh, hey, we like you, we're going to hire you, we're going to pay for you to move out here. They don't. A casino's not going to do that. A factory's not going to do that. That's not how those places work. Like I said, highly specialized tech companies who are looking for highly specialized PhD candidates, Google Tech Services, yeah, they may hire someone in a very specific field, a very specific industry that they need to come to their place and do that job. They may provide that. In fact, that was a big thing with tech companies in the 90s. Not so much anymore. It hasn't been a thing since I graduated. It was kind of a thing when I graduated, but very rare, and now it's almost non existent. Companies know they can get whatever they need from anywhere. Companies outsource to India, companies outsource to, you know, all kinds of overseas positions. They outsource their call centers to the Philippines. They do everything they can to try and cut costs here and move things somewhere else. And they know that whatever they do need, they can fill in a matter of minutes. They don't have to provide that same level of competitive, hey, we'll fly you out here, we'll give you moving assistance to pay for the move, we'll, set you up with your first month's rent in an apartment. They don't give competitive packages like that anymore because they know they don't have to. The market is so flooded with people trying to find work. The market is flooded with people that have these skills that have, you know, grew up wanting to do that thing. So companies don't have to provide those sorts of competitive packages anymore like they did back when technology was just starting out. Nowadays, everybody and their brother, everybody and their sister coming out of the woodworks, coming out of school has a degree that can do that. And there's literally have gone from highly sought after people that need competitive six figure salaries to Steven right out of university, 400 kids just graduated from this class in this one city and they can all do this thing. It's the market's flooded, What was once highly in demand and necessary now you can go to any street corner and find. There's a website called Fiverr where you can pay people $5 to do these things. I say that there's things on there that are like more than that, but literally it's all gig work. The gig work is one of the things that's killed off the economy and businesses. Like everything now is gig work. Oh, hey, you need this graphic, here you go. Gig work. You need this program coded, gig work. Even working in the gaming industry as a whole used to be like a contract basis. Nowadays, it's all gig work. Hey, we need you to run this one thing. Come in, do it, and you're fired. Like people are just, the turnover rate is insane because people aren't employees anymore. They're contracted gig workers. They work for, you know, like 3 months to do this one thing and then they're canned. Everything now is all gig work. There is no stability in the market. It's honestly, it's a terrible time. The economy is fucked and the people are fucked and there's really, I really don't see a recovery from it. Even if we get someone politically stable in office, there's no recovering from the way things are right now for the general public. We've gone past the tipping point. Let me see, hold on. CBS, like actually CBS, put out let me pull this up. Yeah. CBS News report that they came out with about a week ago. 60% of Americans cannot afford minimal quality of life. Recent report has over 50% of Gen X with no retirement plan or savings. National News Report. And I believe it, honestly. Like, things are so bad. Positions are not available. The positions that are available are the lowest tier, the ones that people say, oh, burger flippers shouldn't require a livable wage. The stagnation of wage versus inflation. I've seen people go through and dictate the numbers and check things out and like it's insane the valuation of items now compared to the valuation of back then, and then the income and cost of those items then versus the income and cost of things now. And it is so insane, so drastically outrageous. And that's the problem. These people like Jeff Bezos and all these other billionaires out there, the Walmart Corporation. There was a study, this was years ago. There was a study that found that the majority of full time Walmart workers were on like food stamp assistance or some form of government assistance as a full time employee of Walmart. And there were pieces coming out where Walmart employees were talking about how, because businesses, companies will do like food drives to give to other company, to like food drives for this food pantry, or whatever. And Walmart would do food drives for other Walmart employees. Like, it's been bad for a while, and it's gotten to a tipping point where it's impossible to sustain now. And so even if we do get someone competent in office, we're already beyond that tipping point. And billionaire families like the Waltons who run Walmart or Bezos running Amazon don't understand that if you price your employees out of the goods you sell, you're not going to sell your goods. And they don't understand that. And a lot of small businesses have been shutting down and closing down because they can't compete, they can't pay costs, and they can't afford to pay their people in a way that would let them, you know, return that money into their hands. So it has gotten beyond that tipping point that there is no way of uh, relevant. What's the term I want to use here? There is no. It's hit that tipping point where there's no coming back from the precipice. We're going to go over. The only question is when. We are beyond the tipping point, and it's just how long. Yeah, the point of no return. Where we've hit that precipice, we're beyond the point of no return. It's just a question of when it's actually going to happen. Whether that's tomorrow, whether that's 3 months from now when tariffs start to hit, whether that's a year from now when tariffs have been going full swing, whether that's 2 decades from now. I don't know. That's not something I can say. But it is going to happen. We've moved beyond that. There's no way of stopping it. It can only end in one of two ways. And I guess one of those two ways is kind of the spawn point for other ways, but it's still a singular way. So. Yeah, no, it's not a good spot. Hey, look, we lost a follower. Yay. Glad we can touch on such friendly subjects that people leave the stream. I don't know if it was just now or a while ago. In fact, I was surprised to see that we got a new follower recently. Whenever I started up the stream tonight, we had a new follower, but no notification about it. So I'm guessing somebody had reactivated an old account that got deleted, would be my guess. But then, yeah, we just lost another follower sometime during this stream. I don't know if it was just now or a couple minutes ago, but within the last hour, we've lost someone. So, sometime within the last hour. Like I said, glad we could touch on these family-friendly topics. That's the problem, Kev. It could have been someone actually leaving, or it could have just been a bot account getting deleted. Again, I've got people. I've been doing this for 11 years now, so I've got 11-year-old accounts, older than that have on our follower list. And so if those accounts go inactive or something happens, and those accounts can get deleted from inactivity. So there's a chance that it's just an account getting deleted. Who knows? That's kind of the problem. And the problem is, I don't grow regularly. I grow very little as a channel. And so when something like a bot deletion or an old account expires, that's something I notice in my count, my follower count. So it will be nice to have a follower account high enough that I don't notice those things, but that is probably never going to happen for me. So many of these jobs are just bullshit. You know, people are lying out their ass. Not even on the applications, but like the job position, you can tell is lying out its ass. It's some sort of multi-level marketing scam. We need this, 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 and this. No, you don't. Shut the fuck up. So far tonight since we started the stream, bot accounts should not exist. Yeah, but they do, and they're always going to. Um, so far just during this stream, I've filled out 8 applications, and there was a ninth that I absolutely refused to fill out because I'm pretty sure it was a scam, and so I was not willing to give them my information. Well, I mean, it was a scam job application. They were wanting my information for the job application, but I guarantee you that application was not legitimate. Who knows what they were going to do with my information? But it was not anything nice. Yeah, unfortunately, that's like super common. Like I said, that was the only callbacks or emails I was ever getting when I was searching previously, and so I've gotten pretty good at spotting a lot of them. But they still get through because when you use LinkedIn and Indeed, your stuff is out there for anyone who signs up as a job poster to try and, oh, here's this person's resume. I can view it. So let me go ahead and call them and say, hey, you're perfect for our position at this. And just give us all this money to start up. Demonic is not doing good. I haven't talked to her in a while, but she's not doing very good right now. Because, like, as bad of a position that I'm in, she's in a much worse position. I hope she's okay. I really do, but I don't think she's in a good spot right now. Like she was in a really bad spot last time I talked to her, and I don't think it's gotten any better. I don't know because I haven't talked to her, but yeah, I really hope she can find something. Like it's dire for me. It is dire for her. It's not good. Almost 10 o'clock at night. Yeah, no, they haven't. I talked to her. It's been a little while, like a week or two, I think. No, we met because of the bar, but because we both streamed, we kind of hit it off pretty good. But yeah, no, I didn't meet her until the bar. Timmy I met before the bar. Um, Honestly, most of the people in the bar community were just from the bar. And yeah, she was one of them. She came from the bar. She came really early on from the bar, but I wish I could say I was friends with her before then. She's been fun to hang out and be around. Moose, yeah, Moose started all this with me. I've known Moose since 20 2010, 2011. I've known Moose forever. He's probably Moose and Technician. I met both of them at the exact same time back in like 2010, 2011. I think it was 2011. And then Geek Devotions, I've known him since the fifth grade. Moose started Random Encounters with me. He's a founding member of the channel. Yeah, no, Bio usually doesn't come in unless it's like his weekend off. Bio's not really here all that often. Yeah, so last time I talked to Demonic Pretty was right after the event stream. So it's been like 2.5 weeks. What, me and Bio? Do you mean the Muscle Girl Discord? Oh, um, I mean, Bio already started it on his own. He had just started it actually and posted it in the um, Muscle Girl chat. He's like, "Hey guys, I'm starting this thing." I was like one of the first people in there, or no, it was even. It might have even been before he opened it up. Was asking for help with it. He was asking if anybody knew anything about it. And Discord is something I've been using for a while by that time. I've been using Discord since like 2016, 2017, somewhere around there. I've been using Discord for a while. And so he asked for, I don't remember if he asked for help or if he said, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing this." And I said, "Hey, if you need some help, I can do it." I don't remember exactly how it came up, but he brought up in chat about doing Discord, and I said I had experience with it, and so he brought me in and made me an administrator, and we built the thing. He did the majority of it on his own. I helped organize the rooms. I helped set stuff up. He had, most of the Muscle Girl information. For the most part, on my part, it was just setting up, going through, doing the settings, going through, uh, setting up the rooms and the layout, and setting up what kind of rooms do we need, and then moderation after the fact, of course, keeping an eye on everybody, making sure no one was being outlandish. Uh, Doing some back end setup, getting all the uh, different roles and everything set up. I don't think so. I honestly don't think we've had to ban anyone off the top of my head. Yep, 2 people. That's the one I was thinking maybe we had to ban this guy. And then the other one I don't remember. That might be. That honestly, I think that one was an auto catch from just the security bot. So we had one ban from the security bot automatically, but we've only had to ban one person, and that was Junior Jackson. Sure, you remember him. That's the only person I'm like, maybe we banned that guy. And we did. It's the only person we've had to ban. There was one time where I almost thought we were going to have to ban someone, but the person ended up leaving on their own. And for the most part, everybody in the community's been pretty solid. I mean, there's not much to be controversial about in our community. Like, hey, do you think Japan's cool? Yeah. Hey, do you think muscular women are cool? Yeah. Awesome, we get along. That's pretty much been the community, you know? And I am all for that. Those are good things to be excited about. And then there's a subset of us in the community like, what about games? Oh, games too. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's been a time. We lurked in the Muscle Bar Discord for a while under another username. You can't even remember because it was attached to a Hotmail account and it didn't even use anymore. He started a Strollcam Gmail username. Oh, the Twitch, yeah, yep. Let's say if it's on the Discord, you can just scroll down the list of usernames and find it. Yeah, no, on the Twitch that's completely different. You can't really go through those. Um, that's cool. Yeah, I still remember when I accidentally found the Muscle Girl bar. I was like, wait, this is a thing that's on Twitch? Does the bar have the follow age command in it? I don't know if it does. See if the bar has follow age. It does. Valendro has been following Muscle Girls 88 for 3 years, 5 months, 11 days, 12 hours. 3.5 years, guys. You accidentally clicked the unfollow button one time and it reset. Yep, it'll do that. It'll do that. I know Wish's follower age on my account is screwed up because of that, because he and I were testing out a couple things system wise, and so he unfollowed me and refollowed me. There were a couple times we did that, so I definitely. Oh, But yeah, so I know there was a few times where we were doing that with me and Wish, where he would unfollow my channel and refollow it again because we were testing things out. And so I know his follower age on my stream is messed up. Oh, weird paying money to a Twitch channel. I get that. If it's not something you're used to, I can understand where that'd be weird, but it's basically just like any other subscription, any other thing, but you're specifically supporting a specific creator. So, it's a new concept to you. Yeah, no, it wasn't new to me, but it's a thing. Yeah, that was turned off. Why the fuck is that going through? Goddamn bot. Yeah, it's even turned off. What? There's a second command for it? Where the fuck did that come from? How were there two commands? How did that even happen? I did not do that. Yeah, no, the bar is an interesting place because most streamers push for subs, but the bar pushes for bits. It's a very unique setup. But I also learned in doing that that bits actually give the streamer so much more than subs. Bits are more valuable, but subs are what get you seen. The more viewers you have, the more subs you have, the higher you place in channel lists. So, like playing Expedition 33, I've only got 6 or 7 people in the stream. I'm literally at the bottom of the list of people playing the game. But if I got 1,000 people, all of a sudden I'm skyrocketed up. And if I got like 20 people, and out of those 20 people, I've got like all of them are subscribers, and I got people handing out subscriptions. So, say I've got 20 viewers and I got 40 subscribers, I'm going to be up above the other people that have 20 viewers. I'm not going to be going past people with hundreds of viewers. I might go past someone with 30 viewers because I have a higher overall count, you know. So it's a weird dynamic. But it wasn't until the bar watching them get those bits and seeing all that stack up and the way their dynamic ran that I really realized the difference between bits and subs and how things operate. Because again, most Twitch streamers want those subs. The bits are worth more. Because, like right now, a $6 sub, I get like $2.73 on the sub. But if you send me 1,500 bits, I get $15. Uh, Whatever bits are sent, I get that whole thing. So it's more valuable in that regard. Um, but at the same time, that doesn't count towards those numbers. That doesn't count towards those things that followers and subscribers do. So it doesn't count towards those numbers. You didn't want them to know you were already a fan. That's kind of funny. That's actually pretty funny, Kev. Yeah, but it's understandable. It's kind of intimidating going there for the first time as a fan because you're like, I know all this stuff, but you know, and I still remember going there for the first time. It's like I've been talking to these people this whole time. They know me. They know I'm coming. Now I'm nervous because I'm here in person. I got to make a good impression. I got to, got to show off, show out, show up, show off, show out. You gotta make them think I'm just as cool in real life as I am in the chat. Right, right. No, I get that. I never really follow them on YouTube, and I mean, their YouTube is basically non-existent now. I found them on Twitch and stayed with them on Twitch the whole time. I didn't find out until later that they had the YouTube, and the YouTube was kind of meh. They didn't really stream on there, but they would put up the videos and stuff. But by the time I started following them, they had mostly stopped doing that. I only ever even started using Instagram because of the bar. It's not anything I was ever interested in. I almost exclusively stuck to Twitch. Uh, so, yeah, it's a thing. I almost exclusively stuck to Twitch and YouTube and Facebook. I had a Twitter, but I didn't really use it. I still really don't use Twitter. And even though I check Instagram a lot, I don't post anywhere near as much as I should. But at the same time, the one thing I've learned posting on Twitter, posting on Facebook, posting on Instagram has zero effect on Twitch. Those people don't fucking follow you. They don't give a shit. They might follow your Twitter to watch you say something and try and find an inroad for themselves, but they're not going to turn around and follow you on, or they might like follow you on Twitter or follow you on Instagram in hopes of, you know, getting a follow back or whatever, or just seeing the things you post, but they're not going to follow you on Twitch for it. And, you know, if they follow you on Twitch, then they might follow you on Twitter or Instagram to see what you're posting on the side. You know, Twitch will lead to Twitter and Instagram, but Twitter and Instagram will not lead to Twitch. It's kind of a terrible catch 22. You need to have them, but they're detractors, not earners. So I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. Like, I hope you understand what I'm saying, but like, this is super stupid for me to try and explain. I'm not doing a good job of it, but basically, yeah. as a streamer, I can stream on Twitch and then post things on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. And the people who follow me on Twitter or follow me on Twitch might go check out my Twitter or my Facebook or my Instagram to see what I say because they like what I do. But people on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter who follow me there won't necessarily follow me to Twitch. Right. Tons of different forms of social media to keep track of. And you have to spread your content out over it just to maintain your status on the one section, because the people who follow you on Twitch expect you to do stuff on Twitter and Instagram, whereas the people on Instagram just expect you to do stuff on Instagram. They're not going to follow you on Twitter or Twitch. So, yeah, it's a trap. Threads is Twitter. Threads is Twitter because Elon Musk made Twitter and like fucked it. And so Instagram made Threads their own version of Twitter. So Threads is Instagram's Twitter. It is Twitter made by Instagram. Um, the only reason, and I think foreign wise, like there's a lot of people that I see from the bar or interacting with the bar. I do see a lot of like those Japanese content creators and stuff on Threads, but not a lot of like the Western people. Yeah, because it's another source of social media. They really expected Threads to they expected Twitter to crash hard, and in a way it did, but not the right way. Like it crashed out, but people didn't really flock to Threads in the way they thought they would. Um, People did go to Threads. I think mostly a lot of like, again, the I noticed a lot of Japanese content creators and Japanese models and Japanese things like that are on there, but not a lot of like Western stuff. Not a lot of uh, Western content creators or people like that. I don't think they really kind of took to it. Um, but because it's linked to Instagram, you can quickly just, whenever you make a post on Instagram, you can set it up to automatically do that on Threads as well. So it's like super quick to update, super easy to maintain. So a lot of people just keep it because it's integrated. But with uh, Twitter, when it finally did crash out the way it did, um, there was another version of Twitter that came out called Blue Sky. Um, and so Twitter has kind of remained very, very right wing, and then Blue Sky is very, very left wing. And so a lot of people, a lot of content creators, a lot of gaming industry veterans, a lot of more kind of left leaning liberalists have all moved over to Blue Sky. And that one, like Threads, didn't really pick up in popularity. Threads didn't really get any traction at all, but Blue Sky did. Blue Sky is really super popular with that left leaning crowd, and Twitter is now very right leaning. Um, a lot of people who created a Blue Sky still do have their Twitter because even though Blue Sky might be more their focus, Twitter is still a massive thing that even though it's a horrible dumpster fire, it's a dumpster fire they can't get rid of. It's kind of like a necessary, forced dumpster fire that you just can't get away from. If that makes any sense to you. Hopefully that makes sense. No, I don't have a blue sky. I don't even use Twitter. Like, I have Twitter. I really don't use it. I have Threads because it's tied into Instagram. I do not use Threads at all. I never even bothered to. Like, the only reason I have Threads is because it was made with Instagram. Really, it came from Instagram. Like, it automatically set up. Um, I never. I use Twitter maybe once or twice a month if something's going on. I don't. The last time I posted to Twitter was because of the event, the subathon. Before then, I don't know what it was, but I haven't posted since the subathon. And yeah, I just never even bothered to make a blue sky because no one, I mean, the content creators that I care about, I just watch their content. I don't follow them on most social media platforms because I really don't use social media platforms. Like, I don't use Twitter enough to care about it, and Instagram, I mostly just follow the muscle girls on Instagram. I don't, because I haven't found any worth to using them. Like, they literally have done nothing to help me or the channel grow. And in fact, the more I've pushed on Twitter, the more I see nothing happens. Push on Twitter, push on Facebook, and I get nothing out of it. If people are going to follow me, they're going to follow me from Twitch. They're not going to follow me from Twitter. They're not going to follow me from Facebook. They're not going to follow me from Instagram. And so, because of that, because those aren't areas I'm focusing on, I'm trying to focus on Twitch and YouTube. I don't find a need to post or do things on any of those sites. I still do post and do things on those sites here and there, especially on Facebook. Facebook, I post a lot of memes and a lot of just stupid stuff, but I literally could let those platforms completely die and it would not affect me in any way just because there's nothing that I get out of them. So, yeah, no, I never bothered to even sign up for an account for Blue Sky because there's no purpose to it for me. Honestly, even Discord really doesn't do anything for me when it comes to Twitch. The biggest thing Discord does is it lets you guys know when I go live. And it doesn't even always do that correctly. But aside from that, the biggest thing is I use Discord to talk to you guys. That's it. I use Discord to talk to you guys. I use Facebook to talk to a couple other people. And I use Instagram to talk to some other people. So those are the three things that I use. And I use them to talk to people, not to as actual like social media sites. So, all right. Well, we're at almost 3 hours. Yeah, no, Discord's super good. It really is. But yeah, the to be fair, the muscle bar itself is nowhere near as active as it used to be, and it's cycled through a lot of people. You know, we've got a lot of new people in there that I don't know because I don't get a chance to be in there. Um, and Discord is one of those places where people tend to join because you can join like a bunch of different servers, and so people tend to join a server to get notifications about stuff. It's like, oh, hey, I'll join this content creator's server, and then I'll get notifications when they post a new video, or get notification when they go live, or get a notification when they do X or Y. But I'll ignore the daily conversation because there's no need. So, um, yeah, that's uh, kind of a thing there. Is like, anytime you do a Discord server, most of the people in there are going to be inactive. You're going to have a set core group. When I first started watching the Muscle Girl Bar, it was very rare that they would fall below 200 viewers. Now there's days they don't even hit 100. So it's really changed. And a lot of the people who are in there have really changed. So a lot of the people in our Discord probably don't even come and check in on it anymore, let alone actively get into conversations. And out of those ones who actively get in conversations, they're there strictly for the Muscle Girl Bar. They don't get into conversations with, they don't hop on the Twitch channel. They don't come check out me or Necro. Some of them will go on if they see Nabe Muscle, Nabe and Ray go live, or the streams with Wakame or Yora. They might go hop into their streams if they get a notification for that. But like me and Necro having our notification show up in there, it's just you guys. That's it, you guys. No one else is coming from the channel line to see us. They don't care. That's not what they're there for. They're there for the Muscle Girls. So. Yeah, I like the sixth floor bar. When they started doing the basement bar, I was really kind of concerned. And I still don't like a lot of the changes they made. I mean, I understand why they made the changes, and it's good for them that they've grown to the point where they had to make those changes. But yeah, I don't like the basement bar. So I mean, to be fair, they were making money before too. Yeah, they're making more money now, but they also have to pay for the bigger place. They have to pay for the bigger budget, and they have to pay for the bigger list of cast members, staff. They have to pay for the bigger list of staff. So yeah, they're making more, but also their expenditures are a lot more. The big question is, did the upscale make a difference? Did the upscale balance out? So, because there's still a lot of times where, I mean, there's a lot of times where they fill the bar, but there's still a lot of times where they don't fill the bar, or there's a lot of empty seats. So, um, I don't know how hard it hits them if the seats aren't full. Yeah, I know, but in the sixth floor, there were less seats to worry about what the cost would be if that seat wasn't full. And here, if they've got like 2.5 times the seats, if one of those seats isn't full, who knows how much that cost is to them. So if they did, they also had more rotations too. So the yeah, they do get a lot of blocks with 30 customers, but those blocks are longer blocks now. And if they get one that doesn't have those, yeah, they had a lot of sessions where there were no people in it before, but it was like constantly rotating out. You could get a half hour. You could pay for just a half hour at the bar or an hour at the bar or whatever and just keep kind of rotating out, and it gave them a chance to get more people in, get more people through, where they don't have that now. So if that seat's not full, then that seat's not just not full for a half hour or not full for an hour, it's not full for an hour and a half. So like, again, I don't know how that translates. Um, but as you say, yeah, most of the time they are full. Most of the time they are. But on those times that they're not, how much is the impact of that compared to what it was on the sixth floor? With all their expenditures that they have now, how big is that impact? Mm, I don't know how much Hari is on the financials of it. Yeah, she's like the staffing manager. I don't know if she would have that kind of information. Even if they did, I don't think they would be willing to give us that information. That's not something. Right, right. He just has another highball, and that fixes the balance. Um, yeah, no, it's one of those things where they probably wouldn't share that information with us, and I wouldn't blame them for not sharing that information with us. It's not something we need to know. It's just, again, one of those things where, yes, they're making more, but how much are those costs and how much are the offsets? And if there's a time where they don't get that full, how much does that cost them? How much does that hurt to not have that filled up? So, like I said, it's a give and take and it's a balancing act, and they are definitely more than making up for it. If they're not making up for it, there's a problem because the bar is popular and it's got so much publicity and so much traction. Yeah, it's insane. But if a time ever comes where that publicity and that traction slows down, what's that going to do? Because there are still slow times. There are still moments where you know that happens. So what then? It's again, it's everything that needs to be put into the thought of something like that. So I also just personally like we got really fortunate that it got popular. Yeah, yeah, no, it definitely hit an interesting target audience, and I definitely think it was them going out on Twitch and YouTube that made that happen. If they hadn't have done that, then those little internet things like Lad Bible and stuff like that would have never messed with them. Um, it would never have taken off the way it did. But yeah, I know what I was going to say is definitely, I think, the sixth floor bar. And that's another thing now, because the bar, the way it's set up, just a long thing like that. Before it was kind of the round area. I think the sixth floor bar was more intimate. And no matter kind of where you sat there, you could more or less talk to all the girls, talk to other customers. Now it's that long row. You get whoever's in front of you, and then everyone else is, 3 feet that way, 4 feet that way, down that way. It's like it feels a lot less intimate. It feels like you don't really, get to have that kind of personal feeling experience. Oh yeah, Sea Dog was a big one. Yeah, Sea Dog, massive. Because it wasn't just Sea Dog. It was Sea Dog. It was Shibuya Kaho. It was Ludwig, and it was Broad in Japan. Chris Broad. They're all massive creators in their own right. So just Sea Dog making that was massive, and then tagging the others in it and getting their communities involved was insane. That's what got a lot of those other smaller places to go do things about it too. Yep. I wish that robot bar hadn't shut down before I got out there, but that would have been nice to see. But supposedly it was like actually a terrible place to go because the stage was like 80% of the bar and everybody was crammed into these little show seats and crammed in there to try and fit as many people as possible. And it was apparently very cramped, very tight place to go watch a very short show. But it still would have been fun, I think. Um, but yeah, it definitely triggered audiences and got people interested. So yeah, if it hadn't have done that, definitely would not have grown the way it did. That's for sure. What, the robot bar? Yeah, you're probably right. I 100% can expect that. Yeah, I can see that. The thing is, the more a place like that stands out, the more they can charge for cover, charge for people to get in and enjoy the experience. Oh, plus the yen was stronger. Yeah, that too. That's another reason I was hoping to go. Right now, the way the dollar's going, probably won't get much out of it. 70 or 80 bucks to get in there? What? That's fucking insane, my guy. It honestly wouldn't surprise me. Like, honestly. So, yeah, 2016. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get off here. It's been 3 hours. Again, I'm super sorry for the late start. I'm so sorry I missed the earlier streams this week. Just it's been a very bad week with the depression, the mental drain, the death in the family, the all kinds of stuff just going wrong. So uh, I honestly wanted to be here. I had streams set up for Monday and Wednesday and today that all just kind of. There is a stream tomorrow. Big collab stream. Should be real fun, I think. I hope. Hope you guys enjoy it. Uh, yeah, tomorrow. Good things tomorrow. Hope you're not busy tomorrow, Kev. Hope you got plenty of time to watch. Uh, but yeah, thank you so much for coming and hanging out, Kev, for talking to me. I super appreciate you being here. Everybody else who came in and lurked, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you had a good time. And hopefully, we'll see you on the next one. Love you all. Bye bye.